So there's a common misconception that fragrances should always be beast mode, super powerful, loud, sometimes obnoxious. That way people know you have a fragrance on. So a lot of times people think the louder, the stronger the fragrance, the better. Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing really well. Today we're going to be going over 10 different fragrances that are more subtle, but still sexy. So these fragrances can pull you positive attention, they can pull you compliments, they can do everything that you want them to do, but they're more subtle. Not as loud, not as in your face. And sometimes that's actually a good thing. When you're on a date, it's better to have a fragrance that's inviting and alluring than it is obnoxious and loud. So let's jump into it and check these 10 out. Now before we get started, I'm gonna let you guys know some of these fragrances are more of the warm, sweet, cool weather, date night variety as far as the types of scent. And some of these fragrances are more everyday wear kind of fragrances, daily drivers, fragrances that you can wear almost anywhere, anytime, and they're gonna work. But all of these fragrances are more on the subtle side, but they garner lots of positive attention. Let's get things started off with this one right here, Dolce Gabbana, the one Eau de Parfum. This is probably the most obvious choice on this list, so let's go ahead and do it first. This one has amber, tobacco, ginger, cardamom, and grapefruit. That's some of the notes in the fragrance. And this is really like the quintessential go-to men's date night fragrance. Lots and lots of guys out there wear this one now and have worn this one. It's enormously popular, but that's for a reason. It is a huge compliment puller. And as I mentioned, one of the best date night fragrances ever made. You could also put the Eau de Toilette version of this fragrance in this list and it would work, but the Eau de Parfum is a little bit better. Takes that original DNA, makes it richer, makes it warmer, and gives it a little boost to performance. That being said, this one still, obviously, is on the subtle side. That one is perfect for an evening out. Very warm, very sexy, very inviting. Next fragrance in this list is Boss Bottled Absolute, one of the newer fragrances in the Boss Bottled line. This one has that Boss Bottled DNA, obviously, with apple and cinnamon. Some people are going to pull an apple pie sort of smell from that, and you've got that in this fragrance as well. This one switches things up though. It has plum in there, so it's gonna give you an additional facet of fruitiness, that dark plum mixing with the apple. Also has cashmere, so it's gonna have a fuzzy, modern sort of warmth in the dry down, and olive tree, which is not a note you see very often. There are countless fragrances in the Boss Bottled lineup. This one though, Boss Bottled DNA, retains that original compliment factor that the first Boss Bottled had, modernizes it, makes it easier to wear, and is a very nice, very versatile fragrance. Next fragrance up is a really cheap one. You can pick this up for under 20 bucks online. It's Guess Seductive Noir. There's also a ladies version of this, so make sure that you buy the one for men. This one has apple, tonka, amber, and grapefruit as some of the notes in the fragrance. And some people actually think that this smells a little bit like Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. Now, I don't think this smells exactly like 1 Million, but it is a sweet fragrance, kind of in the same family as Paco Rabanne 1 Million, if that makes any sense. This one is another great evening fragrance. It's sweet, it's a compliment puller, and it actually smells way, way more expensive than the price would lead you to believe. Sometimes you can find this at TJ Maxx or Marshall stores, so if you do have one of those nearby or you frequent them, keep your eyes open, maybe you'll find this one. If not, like I said, really cheap online. Guys, do me a favor, if you're not subscribed to me, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any upcoming videos, which include lists like this one, reviews of designer fragrances, niche fragrances, indie fragrances, even checking out men's soap and things like that, so you definitely don't want to miss that. This next fragrance is one of the more versatile ones. This one has blue fragrance versatility. By that, I mean you can use it just about year-round, daytime, nighttime, to the office, casually, on a date, whatever. It is Jimmy Choo Man Intense. This one has tonka, melon, lavender, and patchouli as some of the notes in the fragrance. It does have a similarity to the original Jimmy Choo Man, not really a surprise since this is the flanker that came right after that one, but this one has a little more richness, a little more warmth, a little more depth over the original one. Also has a slightly more mature smell or vibe to it than the original Jimmy Choo Man. And the Jimmy Choo Man line is another line of fragrances that you can find online at discounters for a really good price typically. These don't run all that much when you compare them to some of the fragrances that they go up against, like Bleu de Chanel or even Versace Dylan Blue. This one might not be the most unique smelling fragrance here because it does have a little bit of a shower gel vibe to it, just in the sense that it's a fresh, clean, modern man's fragrance. But for the price and the versatility and the compliment factor that this one has, it shouldn't be overlooked. Up next on this list is another one that I feel like is pretty versatile. It's Oscar de la Renta Gentleman. Now this bottle is love it or hate it. When I first saw this, I thought this was one of the ugliest bottles that I've ever seen. So here's the cap. There's your actual bottle, half a domino. But some people are gonna really like that, and definitely it looks like its own thing. They're not trying to rip anybody else off here. The note breakdown here is actually really unique because this is another fragrance that is very inexpensive. Now check out some of these notes. It has champagne, don't see that very often. Also has oolong tea, which you're not gonna see in very many men's designer fragrances. There's also citrus in here and some cardamom. Cardamom gives it this really nice, sexy, sweet spiciness. And actually the cardamom and the champagne are two of the notes that you're gonna get the most of from this. So it has this slight, sweet, sparkling effervescence to it, which is that champagne note, and this nice spiciness as it dries down. This is another fragrance that I feel like is overlooked. For the price, you're getting a whole lot here, including a really tacky bottle. Okay, let's go with another super obvious one. Nuit de Lhomme from Yves Saint Laurent. We had cardamom in the last fragrance and cardamom here once again. And this fragrance, really more than any other in the designer realm, is the fragrance for cardamom. If you bring up cardamom in a fragrance, people are automatically going to think of this. The exact same way as if you say pineapple. If you say pineapple in a men's fragrance, people will automatically go, oh, like a Ventus? A Ventus? It's the exact same thing with Nuit de Lhomme. People say cardamom and they go, Nuit? It probably smells like that, am I right? I know I'm right. There are other notes here. There's lavender, there's cedar, there's vetiver, but for this one, people just think cardamom. Really nice, sweet spiciness, very, very alluring. And of course, this is the fragrance that made Jeremy Fragrance want to smash his head through a wall, which that happens when you like a fragrance. This one, along with the one, these are like 1A and 1B as far as men's designer date night fragrances go. These ones get suggested more than probably every other fragrance in the designer realm combined. Next up, let's go with this one, 1 Million Privé from Paco Rabanne, one of my favorites from Paco Rabanne and my favorite in the 1 Million line. And some people actually will compare this to Stronger With You Intensely from Emporio Armani. I don't think they smell exactly the same or anything. It's another one of those similar styles of fragrances thing that's going on with those two fragrances. This one though, much more reined in than Stronger With You Intensely. That fragrance is much, much more powerful, much stronger than this one. That is not a bad thing though. 1 Million Privé smells so good. This stuff is great. It's got tobacco, it has mandarin orange, it has sweet spices. Again, a lot of these do have a sweet spicy factor to them. So with this one, the tobacco, the cinnamon, that little pop of citrus off the top, they make just one of the best fall and wintertime fragrances on the market in my opinion, especially as it transitions from fall into winter. That's when I love this one. The original 1 Million is really well known for being a loud clubbing fragrance, kind of what I talked about at the beginning of the video, you know, just a really in-your-face fragrance. But 1 Million Privé, this right here can do just as well, pulling positive attention as the original 1 Million, just in a different way. Up next, an effortless fragrance. This one you can wear just about year round. It's clean, it's well put together. It's gentleman only Givenchy. And this fragrance it's really gentlemanly. I went out on a limb there. This one has pink pepper, vetiver, incense, birch, and citrus. It's got nice, fresh spice in here and a good amount of woods as it dries down. The vetiver in here is nice and clean. It does have some facets of dryness to it, but it's not done in a way that's going to be off-putting. You know, there's no smoke in here. It doesn't come across overly dark, which I guess is not really a surprise when you look at the coloration of the fragrance. Yeah. Of all the fragrances here, this one and the next one are the best for office wear. Like the name suggests, this one is made when you're well put together, when you've got a nice suit on, when you're dressing up and you want to put off an air of sophistication. Up next, we've got Tiffany In Love by Tiffany & Co. I reviewed this a while back and I really loved the opening. Back when I reviewed this, it just didn't have a whole bunch of oomph to it, but that actually makes it fit into this list really well. The opening here is great. It's really good. Mandarin orange and ginger. It just sparkles. It's very bright. It's uplifting. It's a great, great attention puller in the opening. As it dries down, it does get weaker. As it dries down, you've got cypress, you have vetiver, so you've got this woodiness that kind of comes to the forefront as the citrus and ginger fades away. While this lasts on your skin, it is absolutely 100% a positive attention puller. This one is very, very, very nice smelling. The bottle looks classy. This can go up against some of the heavy hitters in the designer world as far as just being straight up attention grabbing compliment pullers. Talking again, Versace Dylan Blue, Dior Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, fragrances like that. This one can go toe to toe with those scents while people can smell it on you. That one, I say you can go just about as heavy as you want. You're not gonna really offend anybody. This stuff is the type of fragrance that one person in a million is going to be offended by. Everyone else is gonna like it or love it. All right, let's switch things up with this last one. Mandarina Duck Black. This one, another inexpensive fragrance from discounters. And I'll have links to all of these in the description below if you're interested. So check those out. This one has tangerine, tonka, vanilla, and sandalwood. So once again, opening with a bit of citrus. Lots of these fragrances do have citrus in the open. That's because of how likable those notes are, how much people love them almost universally. As this one dries down, vanilla, tonka, sandalwood. So you're gonna get a little bit of powder, you're gonna get a little bit of creaminess, but a whole bunch of sweetness. For a while, and I'm talking years and years ago, this fragrance was actually hyped a little bit as an inexpensive, under the radar, hidden gem type of fragrance. Over time, people either stopped caring or forgot about it, but it's still actually really, really solid. So Mandarina Duck Black, check this one out. All right guys, that's gonna do it for me. As always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there. See you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.